Little disclaimer, this is a certified part 2, so if you ain't seen the first part of this video or any of these other ones and or that I got on the screen, you're not gonna know what's going on. And any questions you may have shall go unanswered because they can be answered by referring to earlier parts of the series. Dig over and out. Greetings, brothers and sisters. All praises to the kingdom in the name of Yahushua Abi Yahuwah. How great is he? Anyway, part 2, because the first part I completely forgot about. Like, really, besides, like, honestly, like, besides the actual Force from Star Wars, this is like the the best example you can really find nowadays about niggas putting information right in your face. See, I got this quote up here again because it just wraps it up all so nice and neatly. You know, Albert Pickle, 33rd degree Freemason. Masonry, like all the religions, all the mysteries, including Hermeticism and alchemy. So all you need to know, the whole system of alchemical, this literature, whatever you want to call it, is just based on symbols that must be deciphered. It's like the world ran by science and symbols, not word or law. So all these people conceal the secrets from all except the adepts and the sages or the quote-unquote elect, using false explanations, misinterpretations to mislead those who quote-unquote deserve only to be misled, to conceal the truth which it calls light from them and to draw them away from it. We've been over this before, but you know, it never hurts to refresh. So this is Tower of God, a South Korean webcomic with 13 episodes and 6 volumes. Made by some nigga named SIU, which is just short for Slave in Utero. Okay, that's a hell of a name there, buddy. Slave in Utero, slave in uterus, so you were a slave in your birth? Well, judging on based off your fruits, I wouldn't be too damn surprised, that's for sure. So this is Buddy right there, slave in utero. Yeah, his ass look weird. Like, no bull, he just look pretty damn weird. Born 1986, so this nigga's quite a bit older than me. Slave in utero. It's obvious. What's obvious? Well, when we get into what we better talk about, you finna see. But before you even do that, I mean, I'm 100% positive. All y'all know. I mean, the show, the damn comic is called Tower of God, my nigga. It's only one tower they could be referring to. Boom. This is a screenshot from the show. On the right, I did not draw this. They did. This is in the show, in the comic book. The slave in utero knew what he was talking about. That's the Tower of Babel, son. The Tower. Dude, media, man. Watch your back. So, fools who have no idea what they're talking about just chalk the Tower of Babel up to being a myth on how the world's languages got separated. But nah, let me learn you something. So Nimrod and them was having portal knowledge back in the day. So the Tower of Babel was the first CERN for real. They was trying to, you know, ascend to the heavens. So yeah, it wasn't just about building a skyscraper just cause, you know, you like the view. Nah, they was having portal knowledge, like I said, falling and stuff. Like, this is Nimrod we talking about. You can't put none past this man. You feel me? But of course they don't want you to know that. You see at the bottom they got how it's associated with structures like ziggurats, pyramids type shit, dedicated to Marduk, which is Lucifer. So yeah, there you go right there. Notice how I just said this thing's the first CERN. So you got portal knowledge, aliens, Sumerian guys, whatever you want to call them, all types of shit. You know, they was gene swiping back in the day, human animal hybrids, all ogres, beasts, all types of shit.
The Greeks' depiction of sirens are different to what the beast system depicts sirens to be today. According to Greek mythology, sirens are birds with a female face. This is why they substitute owls and jackals for sirens in the scriptures. Remember, the seed of the fallen have animal DNA. It is not out of the ordinary for creatures to be part human and part beast. The seed of the fallen sin against the animals as well. When King Nebuchadnezzar exalted himself to steal the Most High's glory,
the king spake and said, Is not this great Babylon, that I have built for the house of the kingdom by the might of my power, and for the honor of my majesty?
Soon after King Nebuchadnezzar finished boasting, the Most High sent him a message saying, The kingdom have departed from you.
While the word was in the king's mouth, there fell a voice from heaven, saying, O King Nebuchadnezzar, to thee it is spoken, the kingdom is departed from thee.
Israelites, regardless of what is happening in this world, the Most High has the final say. It is the Most High that appoint kings and dethrone kings, presidents, and leaders as well. It was prophesied against King Nebuchadnezzar that he would live like an animal for 7 years for his transgression. The scriptures describe his condition.
And they shall drive thee from men, and thy dwelling shall be with the beasts of the field. They shall make thee to eat grass as oxen, and 7 times shall pass over thee, until thou know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will. The same hour was the thing fulfilled upon Nebuchadnezzar, and he was driven from men, and did eat grass as oxen, and his body was wet with the dew of heaven, till his hairs were grown like eagle's feathers, and his nails like birds' claws.
King Nebuchadnezzar lived as an animal until he repented. Part human and part beast creatures exist.
So, knowing all that, listen to what the explanation of the tower is in the show. And I mean, there's definitely parallels to be drawn. And this isn't even like the main point, but I'm just like setting up context so that when we get to where we're getting, you gonna see like, damn, yeah, it's all from the same source. Ain't none of these niggas, man. None of these damn authors or anything have original bone in their body. Like I said, we've been here before. We talked about this before, but it's like, it boggles the mind, man. They really be taking this stuff, lost books, sealed scrolls, tablets that don't nobody know about, freaking shepping it up, turn it into a little anime movie, a little young adult novel, and goddamn make millions off of it while deceiving at the same time. It's a win-win. It's a win-win, ain't it?
Well, the tower in this series is actually an extremely large realm in itself. Like, try to imagine the tower as a massive dimension or even a planet where many floors are stacked upon each other, and each floor is said to be much larger than the size of the American continent. So far, it is revealed that there are 135 floors, where up to 134 floors is actually occupied and under the rule of the king of the tower, Zahad, and his empire. But it's possible that there are many more unconquered floors. So again, imagine this large world which is extended to the size of the American continent, but you can climb up to another floor in a similar size. To put things into perspective, the tower itself is at least 11 times the size of our planet. It's also heavily indicated that the tower is densely populated, probably inhabiting over 15 trillion people. Bruh. We're talking across all 134 floors, so it is plausible. By the way guys, the inhabitants of this realm, the people who live in the tower that is, are not specifically all human. There are many races, and every floor in the tower has a guardian who administrates what happens on that floor, along with having rule over shinsu, which I will get to in a bit. But a little history of humans in the tower is that long ago, it is said that King Zahad, along with his companions, later known to be the Great Warriors, were the first to conquer the floors of the tower and establish the Zahad Empire. From then onwards, the political system has revolved around Zahad's empire. Now, the floor guardians are ancient beings who are said to be as old as the tower itself. Before humans even set foot into the tower, the guardians were there.
So yeah, you know, portals, different realms, all types of different creatures and manners of existence and different species, and you got giants, niggas with wings, dinosaur niggas. Like one of the main characters is named Anakim. I mean, like it's pretty straightforward. And show you just how unoriginal these niggas is, my boy. So. We talked about Demon Slayer before. In Demon Slayer, there are 12 strong, particularly strong demons under the head of the head demon called the 12 Kizuki, or the 12 Demon Moons. And the way they get stronger is, as you can see at the bottom, they receive a large portion of the head demon's blood. And it goes into them, and if they don't die, they get way stronger. They have all these responsibilities. They get respect. This and the third. More blood. More vampires. We already know who's up with that, who's down with that. I mean,
could this get any weirder? Imagine it for me, meeting your mother long after she's passed away. I'm not your mother. Your planet is just now entering its genetic age. You understand very little about something which is a vital part of our reality. In our world, genes have an almost spiritual significance. They are the seeds of our immortality. When the exact same genes reappear in the exact same order, it is for us what you would call reincarnation.
But how could I be a reincarnation of your mother unless your mother was from Earth?
My mother was born before your first cities were built.
Are you some kind of vampire race?
We are the cause of a lot of those myths. But I promise my mother was just as human as you or I. The difference between us is our knowledge and technology.
Yeet.
How old do you think I am?
Oh, late 40s?
I recently celebrated my 14th millennium.
These niggas think they funny.
You're 14,000 years old?
14,004, to be precise.
Ha
My
ha
mother was approaching her
ha.
91st millennium.
Gene Spice help.
Holy crap.
Each of us has a code for our optimal physical condition. The problem is our genes have an expiration date which is transferred to our cells. A long time ago, someone figured out how to replace deteriorating cells with new ones.
Yeah, Father
Today it's
names
as easy as changing a light bulb.
Where do you get these light bulbs? What is that?
It has many names. Regenix, Resell, Nectar. There are various levels of usefulness and quality, but this is the most pure and most valuable solution made by the House of Brassix.
Khalid came out of a bath.
Naturally, my sister didn't explain what it is or where it comes from. It comes from people. Each unit is refined from approximately 100 human beings.
What?
Your planet is a farm, Jupiter. There are thousands of planets like yours set up by families like mine to supply an ever-increasing demand for more time.
Fallen angels.
You said you killed 100 people to make this.
Not me, but yes, someone did.
Semantics. He's of his father.
Not like butchering a herd of cattle.
Remember how in the Bible talks about how Cain slew Abel and drank his blood. Yeah, we're talking. Y'all know what we're talking about. Anyway, 12 demon moons, 12 demons who were formerly humans, but they became demons, and they get a large concentration of this nigga's blood, because that's how every demon in this show is made, through the blood of the main demon. So these niggas in particular, these 12, just get a higher concentration. If they survive, if they don't die, it's a painful process, then they get super strong and become a 12 demon moon. That's from a whole different series called Demon Slayer, right? Now, over to Tower of God.
So, the princesses of Jihad are a very powerful elite group that are not actually related by blood to really anybody. You see, the way a person becomes a princess of Jihad is through blood transfusions from Jihad himself, and this seems to work on vampire rules. They just get an injection, and assuming their body accepts the transfusion and they don't die, then that person becomes a princess of Jihad.
Same thing. Life is in the blood. Especially if you watch that last video, you know the life is really, literally, actually in the blood. It's like, boy, oh, it's gonna be real hot. These fools, and they get where they going. But anyway, if you thought that wasn't bad enough with the fact that this show was about the Tower of Babel. But now I will send for many fishermen, declares the Lord, and they will catch them. And after that, I will send for many hunters, and they will hunt them down on every mountain and hill and from the crevices of the rocks. Sounds like a whole lot of fighting.
The first important thing to note is that every position requires the manipulation of shinsu. In fact, it's how you manipulate shinsu that determines the position that best fits you. So, with that as a little bit of context, let's start things off with the fishermen. Considering that people like Endodasi, Yuri, and Anak fall into this category, it only makes sense that these are your standard DPS. Fishermen are the core combatants of every team. They excel at close to mid-range combat, and as such will always be found at the front line during a battle. In comparison to something like a wave controller or light bearer, this is a much less technical position. The only job a fisherman has is to eliminate their opponent with as much destructive power as possible.
What I tell you, easy peasy, don't even make it hard. But on to that shinsu word right there, because that's what's important. Shinsu, literally divine water. It's a substance native to life forms within the tower. It is produced by the tower and flows through the surroundings like air. A quote from somebody in the show, Shinsu, or divine water, is the world itself. Now, like I said, I put a disclaimer at the beginning of this video for a reason. I'm going to go ahead and already assume you know what's up with that. If not, you got some videos to watch. But let's move on.
What really is shinsu? Is it just some sort of power or energy or something? We know shonen battle series are known to have a form of natural energy which is used as the main source of power in their world. For Dragon Ball Z, it's ki. For One Piece, it's haki. For Naruto, it's chakra. For Hunter x Hunter, it's nen. And in this series, it's known as shinsu.
Good deception. Like I just said, this nigga's geeking and nerding. He don't even know what he's geeking and nerding over his real life. He just rattled it off. All the most popular series in the world. Bruh, man, disgusting. It's disgusting. Fake for the real and real for the fake. Bitter for sweet and sweet for the bitter. It's the same exact thing.
Shinsu is a Korean word. The Japanese translation is Kami no Mizu, which in English would be water of God. Like Yuga or Ren explained, Shinsu is the world itself. Shinsu is basically everything. It can change in infinite ways. It can be water, light, air, fire, and so on. The different forms of Shinsu can be referred to as its consistency. The tower is completely full of Shinsu, and all living things require it to live. It is the air they breathe and the water they drink. It can change in infinite ways. Ultimate commanders of Shinsu are administrators of the floors. Without their permission, no one in the tower can use more than a certain amount of Shinsu. I'm guessing this small certain amount is just enough for an individual to survive on a normal day-to-day. So anyone who wants to use more than that amount require permission from the administrators. This permission or contract is mainly required by regulars and rankers who move around and fight in the tower with Shinsu. The only exception to this are irregulars and possibly Jahad and the 10 great families.
Now, the whole reason I even kept that little part in is for him to mention them 10 great families and the king of this tower. So we got 10 families. They're considered the royals and nobles. They have status. They're super strong, and they all have affinities and unique traits with this divine water that sets them apart. So they got royal blood, Anunnaki blood. We talked about this before. So this is the king of the tower, the so-called god of this universe. He's blind, as you can see. And I looked up his height because I already know how to do this. I looked up how tall is this nigga. This man is like 8 feet tall. So, and his blood, transfusions of his blood makes people stronger if they survive. So, yeah, you know what this is supposed to be. I'm not even finna like come on, you know, this is father. Either that or one of their offspring, and the blood is still the same. Look at what he's got on too. Look at how he's dressed, and he spearheads 10 families, 10 royal noble families in this series. Keep that in mind.
We're talking about a global network with one template carrying all of this out. Mm-hmm. And originates with those ancient Iranian bloodlines. Mm-hmm. And they have 10 bloodline families that sit on a council, and they're the ones who advise the Jesuits. The Jesuits work for the Iranian bloodlines, and the Jesuits were created by Alessandro Farnese, who became Pope Paul III in the Renaissance, and Fidel Castro is pure Iranian ancient bloodline, and he's directly descended from Pope Paul III.
Yep, 10 families, Aryan blind boys. We, boy, try to tell you. And so they all in the show have high affinities and unique abilities with this divine water. And I mean, you cannot sit here and tell me that's literally all they do. The whole thing with the Knights Templar and all that, the damn Buddhism and all that, they all do the same thing. It's transmitting and using this energy. They call it Vril, but you know, we've been over this before, the forest basically. So like, parallels, man, it's the same thing. So let's talk more about this so-called divine water. Well, not even so-called, that's what it is. Let's talk more about this divine water. And heads up, this nigga's voice is about to come on is absolutely ridiculous. Just bear with them. Bear with me. We here for the information. Strictly for the info.
So shinsu is a very special type of substance. In lower concentration, it acts like gas, but in higher concentration, it starts to act like liquid. The main difference between shinsu and air is that air follows some unified laws with which it flows, but unlike air, shinsu keeps on flowing with different rate at different floors and different places. The flow of shinsu can determine its quality, which means it can make it flow like water. It can even turn into fire, light and other phenomena as well as materials. Shinsu has no singular property or feature and is rather the very basic of all energy and things within the tower. One of the biggest difference between shinsu and air is that their variation in the concentration. When air flows with low concentration, it is in the air form, and when it flows in with high concentration, it's still in the air form. But this is very different for shinsu. When shinsu flows in low concentration, it acts like air, but when it flows in a very high concentration, it can turn into liquid as well.
Very true. You see right there, I got it under important. Acts like gas in lower concentrations and liquid in higher concentrations. That helped me a lot because it's like, hey, that's what it is. That's how it is. It is what it is.
Anyway, to keep things brief, you can see how they use shinsu if you just look at Lowry and Bam. Basically like energy blasts, like a Kamehameha. They can also paralyze people with it for a short time. But that doesn't mean people or other positions don't use shinsu as well. Fishermen, for example, can reinforce their body with shinsu to make it stronger and more durable, which will help in fighting, kinda like armament haki from One Piece. Scouts and others may also do this.
We talked about this a million times before. Now I'm finna show you. So before we get into my examples of me actually doing it, let's go way back to one of the first videos I ever made about this topic with my boy Sasko. So this is when in the video I was talking about basically being a whole sensei out here. I'll praise to the Most High. He said, second time I tried the meditation, or a half an hour in, I could feel the force field around me and coursing through me. Practically felt like atomic vibration. Started to feel like there was too much energy contained, so I started breaking down. He had to release it by punching something, hitting something. Not gonna lie, my body felt numb, like I was overwhelmed. I was struggling to stand still. Yeah, that's happened to me before too when I was first starting out. I think he got a little too overzealous. Woo! So he got the firing off. He felt like he was cracking into the wall. So he put on his 8-ounce boxing gloves and kept on, hitting. Concentrating on releasing the energy. He ain't never hit so hard. And back when he was boxing and did hit anywhere near that hard in the bag using just physical strength. At the end of the day, his wrist would start feeling messed up. But this time he felt as though he wasn't trying to hit hard, but was hitting his hardest. And I want to stress that because I recorded all these examples and a disclaimer before the examples that you're going to see before I even like a day or two before I started actually talking over this video. So this is like all them clips you just seen and all that, that's all I made that like 2 days ago. I'm talking to y'all today now. So stuff has happened since then. I'm like, bruh, let's get it, man. Let's just get it.
Basic shinsu use would be something like strengthening the body or resistance to shinsu. More advanced shinsu use would be something like Leroro's water wall.
Though in close quarters combat, one of the most valuable assets a fisherman can use is body strengthening, the technique of manipulating the shinsu around them to reinforce their body. It's the first thing a fisherman will learn when being taught shinsu manipulation.
This is what I was talking about. Like I said, I put all them clips together and recorded these examples you're about to see like a few days before I'm recording the audio to this video. So I had my picture, man, one of my favorite pictures, man, and it was partially frozen. So I was like, I usually hit it with just my regular physical fist just to break it up. But I was like, this time, man, you know what? We gonna hack it up. So I did, and boom, it was over. Like, it just like Sasco said, it felt like I was tapping that thing. Like I was like, bro. Like, it's not even the fact that niggas broke a plastic pitcher with some ice in it. That's not even what I'm tripping on. It's the fact that the punch was so light, like straight up play fighting. Like, you not even finna like really feel it. That's like the amount of force I was putting into this punch, and this thing just shattered, my boy. So I'm like, I put that in to say, you can think this is fake if you want to. You gonna jack something up ASAP, because I did not want to break my picture, man. Now I gotta buy a new picture, but I'm mad because I like this picture. But, rest in peace. Yeah, that's your boy right there setting up the experiment or whatever. So right now I'm just explaining how I'm not using no type of spiritual energy or no will, nothing like that. It's my straight up 100% physical hands, like we in the street hitting. Like I said, this is an 80-pound real puncher bag. So if you ever hit a real heavy bag with your bare knuckles, yeah. And I was punching down, so my form was kind of sloppy, but it's alright. I was still belting that thing. So right here, I'm just illustrating the flow. That picture on the left, I'm talking about how I'm breathing down to my diaphragm, and I can see and feel the energy flowing up from my stomach up through my hands and, my shoulders, down to my legs and stuff too. We're focused on the upper body right now. That picture on the right is good for like visualization. You got all this energy flowing through your body. It's not just your blood. Your blood and this energy go hand in hand like brother and sister. See, I got that picture on the right. It's basically representations of what I'm seeing in my mind.
I can focus my nen in my fist, but you know how it takes a lot of time?
So I'm concentrating right here, gathering energy in my fists, both of them. You just can't see the other one. It's like it's firm, but it's gentle. It's like a command. You tell it what to do and just let it do it. Things like this don't take physical strain. They just take mental effort, will, and intention. Never strain. Ain't nothing to strain about. Yes, sir. My things are straight tingling. I said that in the last video. It felt like, how the way static electricity feels? Not even like that. It's like, bro, it's like, it's like somewhere between like water and smoke, but it's like charged, but it's not like super charged to the point where it's like a taser. It's just like vibratory. It's like steam rising. Like you got a whole bunch of steam around your fist, but it's still acting like steam. It's just not going anywhere. But this is how I started off. I was seeing all this type of stuff in my mind's eye, and just being aware of the fact that things are like this is just, one of the first steps. So you guys, it's all surrounding me. It's flowing inside and out because, it flows inside and out. So I'm visualizing the internal flow to both of my hands, just my hands, and also, so the internal flow and the external flow are both being concentrated onto one point. This is just my energy coming from me, not none in the air, because that's a whole different story. Just coming from me. So I'm visualizing all this, I'm feeling it, and like I'm not just like saying these things are happening. Like, no, I'm actually feeling this around my hands. You feel me? Like, game. I'm not just finna break my knuckles for nothing. And And then finally I condense it around my fist. I'm saying things in my mind like become strong, interlock, interweave, become intertwined, hardened like armor around my fist, strong, powerful, things like that, thinking in my head and feeling it in my heart more importantly. It's all about the heart because from your heart is where all this energy even flows. Well, it starts off from your stomach, but your heart pumps it all out to your extremities and stuff. But the beginning process is in your belly. He who believeth in me, out of his belly shall flow what? And then your heart pumps it through your body and stuff. That's why your heart is so important. When people say listen to your heart, this, that, and the third. We talked about this before, man. So when I started going crazy in my mind, I was seeing this around my fists. And not only was the power increased, and at the very least the same, which is already a doozy because I wasn't putting nowhere near as much effort into those punches as I could have. But you saw the speed, how much faster I was going too, how much louder these hits was. And bro, I didn't it's to the point now I don't even punch regularly no more. Like I'm always hockeyed up when I'm hitting things. Like using my regular fist, just the straight skin and bone, it don't even feel right no more. It feels unnatural almost. Yeah, I'm finna say ain't no bull. This is a real mental shit, and I still got a lot to improve because these things like invisible muscles, they get stronger over time the more you use them. You feel me?
I can focus my nen in my fist, but you know how it takes a lot of time?
You can't even compare them nasty punches to the ones before. And I could have kept going, like I said, but I had neighbors, so I was like, I'm probably making too much noise. And notice how I didn't even shake my fist like it hurt after, like I did the last one. I just looked at it because I was like, bro, I really just did that. But it's like, same process. See, I started off just like this, having an awareness of the fact that this was going on and that I can just feel it around me. So that was pretty easy. It's all about feel, don't think, feel. It's not what you see, young Padawan. Same thing, willing it to flow up through my right shoulder, through my right arm, into my right fist. Now I know I can make it easy by visualizing like my heart pumping from my heart through my right chest, right shoulder, into the right arm, into the right fist, from the belly. So it goes belly, heart, up through your chest, your shoulders, your arms, into your fist, just like that damn picture, bro, from a freaking comic book. Finally, I condense it, clean your heart, and it supercharge it around my face. Invisible armor, I'm thinking all these things. I'm seeing electricity, light, and all that. I kind of messed up. I wasn't supposed to I didn't mean to put a second dot right there in the chest. Just disregard that. Going from your stomach up, flowing through your heart to my right fist. Yeah. The whole time I'm seeing this is a more accurate representation of what I'm seeing in my mind, a feeling in my heart that I couldn't really draw. And I mean, hey, the world is not at all how it seems. Keep in mind, I don't never condone no unnecessary violence or no bullying. Like, even if I got into an actual fight with a nigga, I'm not finna use this on no regular ass human being. Like, that's not even, niggas just making sure they stay right, cause I refuse to be a subpar vessel for my father. That's just not how it's gonna go. It's like, yeah, everybody knows that when it comes down to it, we all finna be renewed and have new bodies and all that. But I mean, like, just cause you getting a new whip soon, you gonna let the whip you got right now fall into disrepair? I don't think so.
And one final word on armament haki: the power it provides is not a be-all and end-all. It is still highly influenced by the base strength of the user. So for example, in the case of two people fighting with equal levels of armament haki, the outcome of such clash will be determined by physical strength.
Put that in there as another example of how these niggas know what they be talking about. Like, see right here, this is rough ass granite. Like, you know, if the surface of your knuckles resembles that of a newborn skin, you might want to start off slow. So I was at the level with no hockey, no energy, no key around my fist. So I was still able to hit the bag, just nowhere near as effectively.
Besides that, scouts usually have the ability to read the shinsu in the air in order to locate enemies, even in the dark, like observation haki from One Piece.
You sit there for a while, and then all of a sudden you start seeing things. All right, now I have a white dot.
Shinsu can also be used to increase speed and even slow down aging. It's the reason we hear about so many people who have lived for hundreds of years. Yeah, Shinsu is awesome.
Everything is not as it seems. Boy. The whole observation thing too, I'll be on it, bro. I'm building up to that because like it was a while ago. I remember I closed my eyes in the forest and I was like reaching out with my feelings, and I could like see the outlines of the trees and like the energy flowing up to their roots and stuff. And like, all right, so I can talk to trees and nature and stuff. And if I put like my hand up to a tree and concentrate and do something kind of like what you see in this picture, I can like, this is no joke, I can like feel the energy flowing up from the roots of the earth into the tree. And like, if it's going up, I can tell if it's like a branch going off like left or right or up or down. Like, I can feel the energy flowing like veins in a body. It's not crazy at all. It's the way things work. And it's in my blood. Anyway, y'all stay prayed up out here. All glory to the kingdom in the name of Yahushua and Abba Yahuwah. Like I said before, like I would say, to the day I die and beyond that. Do not be deceived, because these niggas out here lying. That's all they do is lie. Lies. They wake up, lie. They lie down and lie. That's all these niggas do. And as I said before, oh yeah, if you made it this far into the video, you definitely one of us. So you might want to go watch this video by Sister Naima. It's like, yeah, it's about that time. But yeah, stay up, get ready to bring the dawn.